Hey guys, Tristan Adams, Modern Design Aquascaping. So today we are starting another Oasis Series pond. So this is a 13 by 19 foot pond, 3 feet deep. It's gonna be epic. I wanna share with you guys some of the challenges and what makes this pond a little bit different than the other ones we've done with the exact same measurements. That being said, the whole slope of this yard, it's this way. It slopes this way. So it's actually sloping like 16 to 24 inches, somewhere in there, over the course of our 19-foot run. All of these lovely orange accent flowers made of plastic around me are blocking different irrigation heads. So fortunately for us, this is the best the irrigation has ever been marked. So we don't have any excuse if we hit them, which is kind of not as fun. But we're actually gonna try to avoid hitting them this time. Also something different. We don't hunt for them. Don't get me wrong, but we have all of these different irrigation heads in here, and that really changes the design up, because it's really nice when you come out and you spray paint exactly where you want the pond to go, and then you find out what's actually under the ground, and you decide, okay, well that was a great plan, but we're gonna have to move it completely opposite side. So we're shifting. We were originally up the hill. I know I'm getting far away here, but we have to shift all the way down into this area because the 13 by 19's going this way, which also makes it much more challenging for us to build, because we have this whole edge on this back side that's gonna be so much lower than the far edge on the top side where the waterfall is gonna be going. So there's gonna be a lot of challenges that we're gonna have to overcome during the course of this. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna be being goofy out here for at least the next couple hours before we decide to ship off and go do something else. Stay tuned, because this is going to be another epic pond going on. Alrighty, so we've got all kinds of stuff happening already right off the bat. So as I was talking about the challenges that are posed with having a pond that is much slopier on one side than the other, is one thing we don't want to do, for one, is drop down to the lowest point so that you have 3 feet of dry rock above your pond level on the far side, because especially having a viewpoint that is further away, even on the uphill, if you got 3 feet of dry rock, you're barely gonna see any of the pond because it's gonna be in a giant hole. So we were trying to meet in the middle, and what we found is we were going to need a massive truckload of soil by going this way. So one thing that I have for you guys watching this video, if you're a homeowner, definitely little things like irrigation, things like this downspout that the guys just finished moving right here, those are really going to define your pond if you let them. But what we had was the pond going straight with the side of the house, 19 feet this way, and it really wasn't getting up to where we wanted it to go, which is as close to our interaction spots as we can have. So we've got the porch up there where everyone's gonna be hanging out and doing their thing, where they're gonna be wanting to look down into the pond. And we had this downspout that was right in our way, preventing us from going that way until we decided to move it. Now we've got a good solid plan. 30 different spray paint markings on the ground, and only one is the true one of those. So I'm gonna erase the rest of these lines, and we can finally get to doing something. These guys are ready to roll. Good? Okay, let's go. Dig it. Woo! All right, so all kinds of interesting things have happened over the course of this very short day that we've had. So we almost got the pond completely dug. We actually did get the pond completely dug. We're trying to make up our mind if we're gonna end up making it 6 inches deeper or not by raising the elevations around it due to excess dirt material. But all of these things happening, we get to our 6,000 biofalls that we're trying to install, and the bulkheads were drilled, I guess, with the wrong sized bit. So the 3-inch bulkheads do not go in, and we have to hand drill our own holes in there. Plus side of that, there's no power here. We didn't hit it, or you guys would have saw already. We did not hit power, but no one in this neighborhood has power right now, so we can't use our regular drill that we got. They lost a piece to the end of the bit that's actually the right size to get the bulkhead drilled in, so now it just wants to take off the end of the drill. All of these things going on. Guy, our videographer, shows up because we were gonna make a video for you guys on how to sanitize your clean out equipment so you don't transport fish disease. Lo and behold, he rolls in the driveway and we lose power and can't turn on our pumps or anything. So now he's gone. And yeah, never a dull moment. That's what life is, solving problems. Well guys, these are just some of the things you run into on these projects. So we had an amazing day yesterday. Day one, we got liner in the hole, we got our skimmer in, we got our biofalls in, plumbing and everything attached, looking great to start off our day. And then last night, about 11 o'clock, the rain comes in, and we had inches of rain since then. So we tried to get our boulders yesterday, delivery just didn't work out that way. And now we've got our boulders showing up, and it is really something out here, guys. It is a muddy mess. We've got water under the liner causing hydraulic pressure pushing up on stuff. We're gonna have to pull the liner back and get the bottom of the pond pumped out again before we even start on this stuff. The machine can't make it back here because it's too muddy, so we're having to unload all of our boulders at the end of the driveway, and we're gonna have to bring them back one at a time with the smaller machine. It has just been one thing after another this morning, and that's what business is solving problems. So we're gonna overcome these challenges, and you guys stay tuned to see how that happens. That's what we got, guys. So we got most of our boulders back here. Actually, they're staged. Those things are absolutely epic. I know we had to postpone this project because we actually didn't have our boulders. We called the boulder guys, like, yeah, I don't have what you need. We're gonna have to wait. Waited a couple weeks, called him back. He's like, we're working on it, because he knows the type of boulders that we like to use for our builds, and we do not just take rocks and build with them. Just to get a project done, we will not be like, all right, ugly rocks are fine. No offense to the ugly rocks, but we prefer to have the pretty ones, because that makes our job a lot easier. So for right now, you can see this liner bubble right here. That's 12 inches of water underneath of our liner. So the entire 3-foot deep section from the downspouts and all the runoff coming down this hill, because we have no weight in here to disperse the water and offset its, its hydraulic pressure underneath there, we've got a bunch underneath there. So we're gonna have to get this thing pumped out, pull our liner back, drop a pump in there, get it pumped out, leave a pump running the entire time during the build. But that being said, I ain't building in this. I'm out. We'll be back. All right, so finally, we've got no rain, really loud machines in the background, and we are ready for boulders. So we got these things here yesterday. We got unloaded through the rain, super cold, all kinds of stuff going on. So one of the biggest challenges of what happened yesterday with the skid steer not being able to get back here is we literally had a 4-team tandem going on with boulders coming up the hill on the skid steer, one person strapping them up, hooking them onto the excavator swinging them over onto the ditch witching them back here into the backyard. And fortunately, there was only like a rock or two that our ditch witch didn't really want to touch, and we just had to get multiple hind ends on the back of that thing so it would actually pick them up and get them back here. So yeah, we made a bit of a mess, but today we had our pump in behind the liner so we could actually pump out all the water that was going underneath the liner, creating that hydraulic pressure we talked about. And we had that pumping out all night. So leaving the water inside the liner actually displaced the weight of the water underneath the liner, pushed all the water that was under there as the pump was pumping out right to it. And when we show up this morning, no water underneath the liner, just a little bit of muddiness, and that is totally fine. So we got everything pumped out. We are ready for boulders, and we are gonna start slinging these things because I am ready to go. My pre-workout is kicking in, and I need to do stuff. Do it. Woo! right, so once again, we're back. We're at the start of day 3 here. We had most of the pond actually rocked yesterday, so we've got nothing pretty much but top rocks, a little bit of stuff next to the cave, and we're moving on into waterfall land and getting close to done with this pond. But one thing I wanted to show you guys, so when you have a pond like this and you know you've got rain in the scenario, you really want to make sure that you do everything you can to make sure, you know, just because we got a lot of rain over the course of the last couple of days. So we had one day here, one day away, one day here. It rained last night after we did all this rock work, and we have a lot of water underneath of our liner. It's very cozy. It's like a little water bed in here. And with the hundreds of gallons we have under here, this liner with nothing inside acts pretty much like a boat. So you think about how much a boat can carry, it's a lot. So you actually do carry the risks when you don't have the pond full of water of potential shifting in boulders, things moving around from just the hydraulic pressure under here. So what we've got the hose in here filling right now. We're gonna bring this water level up to actually push the water to a spot. We're gonna take out a couple buckets of gravel behind one of these boulders, pull back the liner, drop our clean out pump in there, get the water pumping out, and having the water inside the pond actually pushes that stuff to the path of least resistance, which is going to be the spot where we're gonna have that pump slid down in behind the liner. So we're gonna be able to get probably 95% of this water out of here so that we can actually do our gravel work, our lights, and get this stuff buttoned up by the end of the day. But it is looking great. We've got tons of mud out here, tons of rain, tons of fun going on. So we're gonna get that stuff rolling right now, and hopefully before the hour is up, we can get right back to setting rocks. Got this piece of driftwood in here. We still got to chop the top off this guy, get him all in and nestled, but we're ball's rolling. So just wanted to share with you guys the tips and tricks of the hydraulic pressure under the liner. So to prevent this, what we would have had to do was either create a berm along the side of this pond to divert all of the rainwater around it, or B, we could have tucked our liner, actually dug a little trench, buried the edge of the liner so that anything came down the hillside would go up and over and into the pond. And option C is fill the entire pond up, which is kind of a waste of water if you ask me, because it's a 2,000 gallon pond. And the first thing we would have started with is pumping it out. So yeah, that being said, let's get to pumping some of this water out. All right guys, so this is what we've got. We are at the start of day 4 here. We are down you guys know Cody, you've seen him in the videos. Everyone is an integral part of this team. Cody's been out because he just had his newborn baby, so everything's going good with him. He's got the week off, so we were down to 4. Today is Good Friday, so this is before Easter Sunday coming up, as those of you know. And it turns out Daniel's daycare is Christian daycare, so he's off today so he can watch. So we're down back to the original 3, me, Nick, and Hunter, and we've got 1 day left to finish this guy up. So it looks like most of our stuff's done, but we have a ton of detail to do. We've got this whole side, we got a couple top rocks we got to set and build up on this area. We've got to finish up around the skimmer box. We've got multiple tons of accent boulders that need to be installed on the sides. We've got another waterfall to build. We've got the backfilling to do. We got to attach the biofalls. We got to get this thing clean. We got to plant aquatic plants. We got to haul everything off. And we've got 1 day to do it. So we are going to have to hurry tremendously to actually get to where we want to be. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start off today by getting everything in the bottom of the pond completely done as fast as possible. We wanna get this thing gravelled. We wanna have our top rocks and everything set, working our way out of the pond so that Nick, guy holding the camera right now, can actually get started on the clean out of this thing. And hopefully while we're finishing up in the area up next to the biofalls, getting that stuff attached, building the last waterfall, we can actually get the pond cleaned in the meantime. And while we're buttoning everything else up, have this thing filling so we can do our test run to make sure that it's not leaking and running down the hillside before we leave. So that being said, we got a lot to do, a lot of time. Wait, a lot to do, little time to get it done. So I need to quit yapping and start getting some gravel in this thing, because it ain't gonna get done if I don't do it. So I'm out of here, let's go. I tried to make plenty of room and different depths for all kinds of aquatics. I've found that most of the time we spend so much time trying to make sure we get as many gallons of water in these things as possible that we don't have any shelves, and it's like, you know, we do a lot less aquatic plantings because there's nowhere to plant them. Yeah. What I wanted to share with you guys, it was the same way with the skimmer box. We're up here on the biofalls now, which is super exciting for me because that means we're almost done. We've got this awesome waterfall in here. We've got a nice like 6 to 8 inch deep pool that's behind this, so there will be nice spots for little aquatic plants and grassy type fellas in here. It's gonna be awesome, but we try as much as we can to minimize our waste on these things, and by that I mean the liner. This stuff, it isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so it's gonna be around for a long time. So we try to cut off as little as we possibly can. And as you can see right here, we have this one little fold at the bottom, which is about 3 inches of liner. We like to leave a little bit of extra, a little bit of spares, so that when you do the rock work and you got the pressure of the water inside here pulling, it's not pulling tight on your silicone seal, because that is a delicate procedure. If you stretch this liner to the max and you don't have any extra on there, no room for expansion, and it pulls that silicone seal loose just a little bit, you're gonna start to slowly lose water, and that will increase over time as your seal fails. But we didn't cut anything off of here. This is literally where our liner ended. So not only are we minimizing our waste on this project, we are maximizing our pond and our stream as much as we possibly can. So like I said, on the skimmer box over there, we had like this much extra, and we left it for wiggle room on there. And now that we're up to our biofalls, it's the same story. We've got 2 to 3 inches on there of extra, so we have our wiggle room for stuff to be able to pull and the water to be able to disperse and not be pulling too tight on the silicone seal, and we minimized our waste. So we are finally at the point we're gonna get this guy buttoned up, attached, start dressing this up, and it's time to do some foaming. So we are so close, we're sniffing all over it. All right, guys, so that's what we've got. It has been a very interesting project. We've had all kinds of stuff go wrong. Fortunately, nothing terribly. Everyone's okay. We made it out of this alive and healthy. But you guys saw, we've had problems with rain almost every other day. This place has been a total soup hole, muddy, nasty mess that's been going on. The boulders coming and not being able to even get back here. So we got a 4-man team unloading rocks for a half a day. Irrigation heads all over the place, 18-inch differential on this pond from side to side, creating the need for bunches of dirt work on that far side, boulder retention all over the place. Plus we've got downspouts filling up the pond underneath of it during every other day where we have off because of the rain. It has been one thing after another, but we have made it happen. We've reached the finish line. This has been an absolutely awesome project. I know I've enjoyed being out here. It's been hot, it's been cold, it's been fun, it's been rainy, it's all the above, and that's exactly what we get pretty much every time. Rarely does everything go perfectly smooth. There's nothing in our way. It's beautiful weather. Everything lines up. That's just usually not how it goes. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the after shots of this project, because this thing is sweet. We will catch you next time. Tristan Adams, Modern Design, out. It's 3 feet deep. It's not 2 feet deep. That's about it. I don't know. Story. it will come to me. You must feel the story, live the story. But what is the story?